Okay, class. So now we are going to talk about how to actually use what we learned about the measures of spread in our last video and put it into a meaningful graph. And these are called box and whisker plots. And you need to write down this definition here. It says a box plot uses a number line to show the distribution of a set of data by using the median, quartiles, and extreme values. A box is drawn around the quartile values, and the whiskers extend from each quartile to the extreme data points that are not outliers. So all that stuff we learned about median, Q1, Q3, and then looking at our maximum and minimum, this is what it looks like when we graph it. And they're called a box and whiskers plot. Okay, so these right here are the steps to create a box and whisker plot. Make sure the focus is good there for y'all. Okay, so y'all need to make sure that we write down these steps. Step 1 is to order your data from least to greatest and create a number line that matches it. Okay, step 2 is to find the median of the entire data set, mark it with a vertical line above the number line that you made in step 1. Step 3 is to find Q1, which is the median of your lower half of the data, and draw a line to represent it above the number line. Then you're going to find Q3 and draw a line to represent it above the number line. Then you're going to connect your 3 lines to make a box. Then you're going to mark your maximum and minimum values of your data set as dots above the number line, and then you draw your whiskers to connect it back to that box you made. Okay, so these are the steps. You need to make sure you have them down in your notes so that you can follow them step by step and get a perfect graph every time. I'll do an example here. We have the data set 12, 13, 5, 9, 8, 6, 12, 2, and 3. Okay, step 1, order data from least to greatest and create a number line. So we've already made our number line here. As you can see, it goes from 2 to 14, and it's counting by 2s. On your number line, you don't have to count by 1s, but you need to make sure that you go at least from your lowest value up to your greatest value, or a little bit beyond. And make sure that you're counting by the same number each time on each tick. So we need to put these guys in order from least to greatest. So we'll start. We've got 2, 3, and I like to cross them off after I put them down. 5, 6, 8, 9, 12, and 12 again, and then 13. So we've got all of our numbers in order from least to greatest. Then it says step 2, we have to find the median of our entire data set. So we're going to go 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, here and here. What do we have in the middle? 8. And always double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have the same number of numbers on either side. So our median is 8. And I like to keep track. Just put it over here. Median 8. Now what we need to do is find 8 on our number line, right there, and make a vertical line above it. Not connected to it, but just above it. Now, the next step we need to do is find Q1. So we're going to look at our lower half of the data. And we need to find the median here. It looks like we have 2 numbers in the middle. So we need to find what's in the middle of 3 and 5. Well, what number is in the middle between 3 and 5? 4. So Q1 is going to be 4. Now we'll go to our number line again, and we find 4, and again we draw a vertical line right above it. Now you need to make sure that it's in line with the other one that you just drew for your median, because we're going to be making a box from these lines here. Now next step is to find Q3. Here we have 12 and 12. Well, in the middle of 12, there's nothing except 12. So Q3 is going to be 12, because if you add 12 plus 12, that's 24. Divide by 2, you're going to get 12 out. There's nothing in between 12 and 12. So Q3 is going to be 12. Oop, not 15, 12. Okay, so now we're going to go and mark Q3 here. Again, trying to make it in line there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but okay. So now we have done steps 1 through 4. Now we need to do step 5, which is to connect the 3 lines to make your box. So draw there, and then across the top. So there is our box. And you can see right now that our data is kind of spread evenly on both sides of the median. You see how from 8 to 4, that's a distance of 4. From 8 to 12, that's also a distance of 4. So our data is pretty evenly balanced. Now we need to, step 6, mark the maximum and minimum values with dots above our number line. Our minimum value is 2, so we're going to go above the 2 and like right in the middle of the box there, put a dot above 2, because that's our minimum. And then our maximum was 13. So right here between 12 and 14, go straight up and put a dot there. And now we will draw our whiskers. That's step 7. Okay, and if you look at this here, it seems that the highest value is closer to Q3 than our lowest value is to Q1. So on the bottom half of your data, things are a little bit more spread out. On the top half, things are a little bit closer together. Okay, so that's kind of how you interpret these graphs. Your whiskers are not always going to be even, because if your lower value is farther away from Q1 than your upper value is from Q3, your whiskers are going to be different lengths there. And also your boxes, they're not going to be always split evenly. Sometimes this median will be closer to Q1, or it might be closer to Q3. Sometimes this box is going to be really small. That means all your data is really close together. The graph looks different depending upon your data set. Okay, so let's do another one here. It says draw and label a box and whisker plot for each. Okay, they've got our numbers in order from least to greatest for us, so that's good. Now we need to find the median. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, our median is going to be 13. So median. Now we will do Q1. And again, there are 4 numbers here. So what's right in the middle of 8 and 9? 8.5. So Q1 is 8.5. And if you do 8 plus 9, 17, divide by 2, you're going to get 8.5. Now here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to look between 14 and 16. What's in the middle of 14 and 16? 15. So Q3 is 15. And then we have our maximum and our minimum. So now we can make our number line here. We need to go from 5 to 20. And I would probably count by 2s or so, since most of my numbers are even. So I might actually even start down at 4. And again, leave some space above for your box and whiskers. So go 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. We can even go 22, 24. Okay, we don't need all those here. We could just stop at 20, but just because our number line's a little bit long. So now we're going to go through and start making our box. First one to mark is your median. That's going to be at 13. So right here in the middle of 12 and 14, that's our median. Now we'll go through and mark Q1, which is at 8.5. Now remember, we've got 9 right here in the middle. Okay, right there. So 8.5 is going to be in the middle of this part right there. So 8.5, there we go. And then Q3 is going to be 15. So that's going to be right between 14 and 16 in the middle. And as you can see, your median is already closer to Q3 than it is to Q1. So our data is kind of a little bit skewed towards the higher end. And there's our box. Now we need to mark our smallest value, which was 5, right there. And our highest value, which is 20, right here. And draw our whiskers. And there we go. So that's your box and whisker plot. Now we will do this one here. This one's not in order, so we need to go and put it in order. So we got 65. Looks like 72. And that appears twice. So make sure you write it down twice. Then we got 75, 79, 88, oh no, 85, sorry, 88, and 90. And I always like to go through and count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you have the correct number of numbers in your list. Step 1, find our median. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm ending up here. I've got to find what's in the middle of 75 and 79. So add them. Now 154 divide by 2. Okay, 2 goes into 15 7 times. That's 14. 2 goes into 14 7 times. And there we go. So in between the middle of 75 and 79 is 77. And that's your median. Now we'll look at this half here. For Q1, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 72 and 72. There's nothing between 72 and 72. So Q1 is 72. Now we look at the upper half here. Our two numbers in the middle are 85 and 88. So again, we need to add those two and then divide by 2. 8 and 5, that's 13, 16, 17. So 173 divided by 2. 2 goes into 17 8 times, that makes 16. 2 goes into 13 6 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So in the middle is going to be 86.5, and that's Q3. And that's our upper half of our data there. Now we can go through and make our number line. It needs to go from 65 to 90. And again, I would probably count this one by 5s, just to make it a little bit more spaced out. So you got 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, and 90. Okay, so first thing we need to do is mark the median, which is 77. So that's going to be kind of in the middle here between 75 and 80. So 77. Put there. And you can mark it with a number 2. Now we need to put Q1, which is 72. So that's going to be a little bit closer to 70 than it is to 75. So we'll say 72 is about right here. And again, you can label it with a number. And then Q3 is 86.5, so it's going to be pretty close to 85 there. Now we need to make our box. And it looks like our data is pretty evenly spaced, but it looks like it's grouped a little bit more between 72 and 77 because this is a shorter distance there. Now we need to put our minimum and our maximum. Our minimum is 65, so put a dot. Maximum is 90, put another dot, and draw your whiskers. And that is how we do that. Okay, now we're going to answer some questions here. And you don't have to write all these down, but you need to understand the thinking that goes along with this. So what is the median of the data represented in the graph? Median. Remember, this is Q1. Here's your median, and that's Q3. So our median, you look here, it's going to be kind of close to 60, but not exactly. It's between 60 and 70. So 35 isn't your median. It's not above 70. It's not 55. Median would be 65. Now we're going to look at what is the upper quartile. Remember, upper quartile is Q3. Upper quartile is Q3. So look at your graph again, and it's between 70 and 80. So we're looking, all right, 75. That's between 70 and 80. What is the minimum value? So minimum value is all the way over here on the left-hand side. It's between 10 and 20. And it's closer to 10 than it is to 20. So they want to try to trick you here. You got to look. This one right here, it's closer to 10 than it is to 20, so we're going to choose 13. So that's kind of some of the questions you might be asked on how to interpret box and whisker graphs. So make sure that you know how to go through the process, you've written down all the steps, and that you understand what each part of the graph means, and you'll be ready to go when I see you in class.